Hey, what's up? Welcome to Accounting is Business with Albert the CPA. If you read the title, you got me. It's a little bit clickbaitish. I'm trying to get views on these videos, but of course, my name is Albert the CPA, so I place a lot of value on having that CPA designation. So, this video today, I really do want to help people understand that designation, what it is, what it's not, and just arm you with the information moving forward so you can make better decisions about if you need a CPA or not. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, you guys know how we start these videos, and I'm gonna try to move through them so the video doesn't become super long like the last one. So here we go. We're gonna start with our church announcements. First and foremost, if you prefer reading over video, our amazing team member Tiana takes these videos and put them in blog form, so it's a little bit more well thought out, a little bit more well put, and you can find those blogs and accompanying blog to this video on our website, rightchoiceaccountingsolutions.com. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This is YouTube. You know what's up. So turn on that notification bell as well. Just so you see what we post in the future. If you have questions that you'd like me to answer on the show or for a chance to get it answered on the show, go ahead, email us at askalbertthecpa@gmail.com or comment down below and we will answer as many questions as we possibly can to help small business owners. Please follow us on social media, Albert the CPA, pretty much everywhere. Right Choice Accounting Solutions, pretty much everywhere. Is that good, Lauren?
Yep.
Good. So first and foremost, diving into the video, let's talk about what the CPA actually is. A certified public accountant is a designation that's given to qualified and licensed accounting professionals. What it means is we have a certain level of education, typically a bachelor's degree and at least 150 hours of baccalaureate credit. So most of us just get our masters in accounting or MBAs. So most CPAs are master level people. Some people get multiple bachelors and do other things to get their 150 hours, but what you need to know about it is heavily educated. In addition to the education requirements, you also have to have 1 to 2 years of professional experience being supervised by an actual actively licensed CPA. So what you know about that CPA designation is this is a person who has a high level of education and they have experience working alongside a licensed CPA. The hard part of becoming a CPA isn't the educational requirements or the supervision. It's passing the CPA exam. CPA exam is extremely tough. Less than 50% of the people that take it actually pass. So it is a prestigious thing in our field. So people that get that CPA designation are few and far between. I like to throw out the stat that less than 1% of all CPAs are black. The CPA exam itself, it covers 4 sections to give you what are called higher order skills and a well-rounded view of business. So the sections that are covered are financial accounting and reporting, or FAR, that's the hard one, regulations, which are pretty much regulations, taxes, blah, 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 auditing and attestation, however you want to pronounce it, and business environment and concepts. This is why the CPA is considered the gold standard in accounting, because these are the people who have jumped through all the hoops, have the high level of education, have the experience, and they've struggled to take an exam that typically takes over a year to pass. So kudos to us for going through that. That's what a CPA is. So what it's not, simply put, it's not a job title. Being a CPA doesn't mean any specific career, doesn't mean that you are proficient in any specific area. What it means is the things that I just mentioned. You're highly educated, highly qualified, and you are competent, extremely competent. You've sworn to a duty to protect the public, some of these things, but it doesn't mean you do any specific job. I'm mentioning that because a lot of people do believe that CPAs are tax preparers, and as you probably know, if you just think about it a little bit, all tax preparers aren't CPAs, which means all CPAs also aren't tax preparers. It's just one of those things that I like to talk about and get out there in the open. So a CPA, there are multiple accounting careers that a CPA may work in. CPA may be a tax professional. It's very common to take that track. Also, we may be in corporate America leading finance and accounting departments. Like, that's what a CFO is. A CFO is a strong leader of the whole accounting and tax function in corporate America. That's also a common landing place for CPAs who've practiced for years. Another common area is audit. A lot of CPAs just live out audit careers where their work is going into other publicly traded companies or other companies who need their financials to be audited, and the CPA team is who goes in and do that. So there are so many job prospects and so many things that CPAs can do in their career, but none of those job prospects are the same as the CPA designation itself, if that makes sense. Um, Oh, one thing about it though, having that CPA designation is definitely a springboard into leadership. Once you prove you can get those higher order skills and you get the necessary experience, CPAs are typically the accounting and tax leaders and audit across, corporate America. So if you are a younger accountant who's watching this, it's probably going to be a really good idea to get that CPA and not listen to online people telling you that you don't need it on YouTube videos for clickbait. So to get to the common question, do you need a CPA? The common answer, it depends. Depends on how complex your needs are. Depends on what you're actually looking for. Depends on a number of things. But if you have a very simple situation, like if you're someone who just has a W-2 job and you need to get your taxes done, you don't need a CPA. If you're someone who has a business and you have a complex tax situation, you want to ensure that it's being done accurately and all of these deductions and stuff are being considered, you may want to consider a CPA or at least an EA, which is, earned just quick sidebar. A EA is a special designation given by the IRS that pretty much says these people know how to do taxes. We vouch for these tax preparers. So CPA, EA for kind of complex tax situations. But if you don't have a complex tax situation, you don't really need that. You can probably do them yourself, to be honest. Um, Important to understand that things like that are important to notice, because even if you do have that complex tax situation and you go to a CPA, that tax preparer CPA may not be the best fit for your CFO needs, those high level operational strategy and insights and who to hire and how to make these decisions. The CPA designation isn't what make that person proficient at that, is the experience and the career path that they've chosen. So it's important to note that as well. You can have a really high functioning CPA tax preparer and still need a CFO for your business. Or you can just work with Right Choice and not have to worry about any of that. So just kind of put a button on this, that CPA designation may or may not solve your issues. What you want to really be looking for is a person who is experienced in solving that issue. And if they are a CPA, that's just icing on the cake. All right, so Lauren and I were just talking. We ain't sure if that was that good or not. I feel like I was a little bit all over the place, but I'm gonna edit it to the best of my ability. So hopefully it's some meaningful information that you guys can take out of that. Or we just won't post it and you'll never see any of this. It don't matter to us. We'll trash it. Anyways, though, we're moving forward to the Ask Albert the CPA question, or Ask Albert the CPA email this week. Question is, what is your opinion on a CEO/owner knowing how to do everybody's job? So I'm going to assume that this is in a small business context. I think, well, first and foremost, I love this question, but I think the CEO role varies a lot depending on the actual size and needs of the company. So a small business CEO won't have the same type of job that a Fortune 500 CEO will have. So honestly, that kind of varies a little bit, but I do think a CEO needs to understand every function well enough to hold the leader of that function accountable. So if you're a super small business, you want to make sure that you understand what everybody's doing well enough that you can hold them accountable. So you don't need to be the subject matter expert for everything in your business as CEO or owner. I'm just saying CEO, but the leader of the function, the owner, the boss, needs to understand what everybody should be doing and what it should look like well enough to tell them if it's not looking the way that it should be looking, if that makes sense. You have to be well-rounded enough to know how to hold a team accountable. And if you're not, you have to be you have to do a really good job of hiring a person who you can trust to do that and being able to hold that person accountable. But I'm going to say that a CEO should have a basic working level knowledge of everything that goes on in their company, especially if they're the owner. That's the only way to ensure that everybody is managing what they need to be managing. Now, does a CEO need to know how to do every job? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The CEO doesn't need to know how to do what everybody does, but a CEO needs to know what it should look like done, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Lauren?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm a really big proponent of CEOs not doing things that are outside of their zone of genius. I used to post pretty much every couple weeks, do what you do best and outsource the rest. So I believe in that. I don't think you should be doing things in your business, like actually doing things in your business that you don't know how to do. I don't think you should be taking on a bunch of new skills so that you can do them. If you want to learn about it, it's so that you can oversee it, so that you can outsource it, so that you can make sure that it's being done right. But a CEO shouldn't be doing a lot of anything. The CEO role in itself is more about asking the right question than having the right answer. I'm gonna stop there. That was a bar. That was a bar. Yeah, yeah. So always remember, accounting isn't boring. Accountants may be boring, but accounting is business.